With everybody adding impulse response loaders to their plugins, are standalone aIR loaders still even necessary? Audio Assault seems to think so, and this is Hails and Fails. Hey heathens, what's up? I am jdBlut. EvilUnicorn is around here somewhere, but I have to let you know that he is a little bit concerned for his well-being. I won't say anything more than that. Something arrived at the house addressed to him that had him shaking in his little boots, and I am not 100% sure who it's from. So we're at this point now where EvilUnicorn is basically trying to hide from us. It's been kind of peaceful, honestly. That's not why you're here, though. You're here for Hails and Fails of the Audio Assault aIR Impulse Loader. What is Hails and Fails, you may ask? If this is your first time here, Hails and Fails are my take on gear review of any kind, virtual, real, whatever, we do it all. And the hails, we talk about the goods. And the fails, we talk about the bads of whatever it is we're referring to. Of course, this is not sponsored in any way. All opinions are my own. And when we do a fail, I'm definitely not trying to slag on anyone. I'm just saying things that I see room for improvement at. You can feel free to agree or disagree with me in the comments below. That's what life is all about here on YouTube. What is aIR? Well, it's audio. I imagine it should have been aAIR, but that would have looked dumb. It's Audio Assault's Impulse Response aIR loader. It looks really cool on the website when you say it that way. Basically, what it is a run-of-the-mill aIR loader that you can get for a value price. I will put the price up here because I honestly don't remember how much it is. And even though it is value priced, you can get a shit ton of good stuff out of this particular little unit. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive in to the screenshot where I have a setup. I'm using the Neural DSP Fortin NTS plugin with the cabinets turned off. So it sounds a little bit like this. I'm not going to tell you that when I was younger, I actually really enjoyed that sound. I thought it had a very industrial feel. I had no idea, being a combo amp fan, that if you took the speaker cabinet out, it would sound like absolute shit. Personal shortcomings aside, let's step in and see exactly what aIR is all about. So I have aIR. We'll just call it aIR from now on, loaded into my Cantabile setup. Let me know down below if you'd want me to go over Cantabile. It's a really great live audio production suite it's supposed to be for your laptop, but I find it's an impeccably good aIR loader or VST loader. So that aside, that's another story. So aIR is loaded in. You can see if I drag this over and highlight over here, I hope you can see that. I have my Fortin NTS. If I double click here, this is the Fortin NTS Neural DSP, as we already said. I'm using Rabia's Black Friday preset with the cabs turned off. Simple, straightforward. We're not here for a tone demo, really. You know what Rabia can do. I don't need to mention that in any way, shape, or form. So you're faced with the front screen here of aIR, and basically one of the hardest things, and I have to give a fail right off the bat, is getting your own damn aIRs into this thing. You'll see I have 7 Deadly Sins. That's a guy on the web who collects impulse responses like they're all going to be deleted from the internet at any point in time. This folder is massive. However, if I click on this folder, it does not actually go in to my 7 Deadly Sins aIR folder. So a little fail there on management. So now I don't even remember where I'm going. Go back into aIRs. Now I've gone too far. I've gone too far. I don't know. So we'll just hit home. There we go. If we hit home, it'll take you back to this screen. And for whatever reason, I don't know if I can get rid of this. I can't right click on it, do anything with it. However, if I click on aIR, this actually does get to my aIR folder on my computer. It's in the public documents. The reason for that is some Audio Assault plugins that I have as well require your stuff to be in the public documents folder. So I just threw everything in there, like my presets, my settings, the whole 9 yards are all in there. And it makes it much easier to find, but that's a sidebar. So these are basically just folders of aIRs, nothing too major. Shout out to Frightbox. And let's see, shout out to Glenn Fricker as well. Let's use Glenn. So obviously we know what it sounds like. Now I paid for these. I'm not reviewing the actual aIRs. We're just borrowing them for the sake of this demo. I happen to really love Angle. Actually, the 7 Deadly Sins one has a beautiful Angle Pro that I use quite regularly. You have heard the output from it on this channel. And we'll just do a good old on-access 57. You cannot double click. What you actually have to do is drag it over, and then you have what you can do with the impulse, which I actually kind of like, because now when you double click, you won't make a mistake. So you have your high pass, your low pass. I don't know if you know me very well. I am still learning, so a lot of the stuff I don't mess around with until I get to post, and that's not the point of this. I actually really like how stupidly easy this is laid out, so I'm going to give this part a hail. The actual aIR layout is fantastic, and I do enjoy it very much. You can pan it. This is going to come in later, and you can mix it as well. I have also, by the by, I have also pumped it up 12 decibels. It usually starts at 0. I just found for the purposes of recording and this demo, it made more sense to have it up at 12. Your mileage, of course, may vary. So now we have an Angle on Access 57 in the first position. And it sounds much better. It sounds like a cabinet is actually loaded there. What you can do is you can pump this into the mix. This will increase the volume, and it will, of course, hopefully be the only aIR you use. Otherwise, you're just going to blast your ears out. Not bad. Not bad. But I'm going to dumb it back down. If you double click that, it'll get you back to 50. What I want to do, and what I find the greatest strength of any aIR loader is the mixing ability. So I'm going to back up one, double click on the back arrow. I'm a sucker for Rev. I just found out they were Canadian, so that's amazing. This is also from Spectre Media. Glenn mixed these and recorded these. Sorry, that's the proper word. So I'm going to try. I don't know much about microphones. So I don't know much about microphones. I know what I see from the people that I watch. However, before I started recording, I did try a V30 with a Lewitt microphone. So it's a V30 speaker and a Lewitt microphone. I keep hearing great things about Lewitt, so we're going to try and see what happens. We just drag it in. Perfect. Now, what you should have is a perfect one-to-one, straight-ahead, in-your-face mix of the two. Okay, not too bad, and I actually kind of dig the sound. But what if I'm the type of guy who wants to mess around with sound? Well, can I make my sound hail even more with aIR? You can. So say, for example, you want to really, really widen your guitar. You can pan all the way, and of course that's just arbitrary. You can do whatever you want. You lose a little bit of volume, but then of course you would be able to mix it. So what I would do, and again, I am not an engineering, mixing, mastering professional, so I am learning on the fly, but aIR makes it really intuitive. I'm going to mix them both to 75%, roughly. And I kind of enjoy that. It's a pretty decent sound. Let's bump it up all the way, just so that we do have a full stereo mix, just to see what that sounds like. Now, I do apologize. I have terrible speakers. They're like $24 computer speakers, so it's a little rough on my end. I hope you are getting the full stereo breadth. got that really nice sort of a full sound that you're looking for. Maybe not 100% mix ready, but definitely a great starting point. You've got your amp set up, you've got your cabs roughly in line. It's a great starting point. You can throw this into your mix, you can throw this into your effects chain, and it'll sound good and it'll get you going. But if, for example, you want to fine tune, one other hail I would like to hand out is you can actually drop one of these off. So if you're thinking, well, maybe I want to fine tune the angle a little bit. All right. This is a parallel connection, I think. I don't exactly know the proper term, but what I have found out, it's a parallel connection. So if I turn this off, then I am only going to have, you will only hear this in your left. I am not real sure why that didn't initially make a sound until I panned it to the right. It's probably better. Here, you know what? So what I realized to demonstrate the parallel connection is that it's better if you have the pan in the front. So here is everything, both just straight ahead in your face. And you probably hated that. So if I just want to fine tune the angle, I can actually cut off the rev. And I have just the angle going, which I love. Same thing in reverse. I can turn that off, turn that back on, and this should just be the rev. Really huge hail for that. I appreciate the fine tuning. Obviously, we didn't do any fine tuning, but the ability is there. So anyway, let's go back to how we had it. Full pan, full mix. Just a reminder, sounds like this. Turned a sour note into a chromatic. That was pretty good, huh? Anyway, what we have now is a tone that we actually like. Well, shit, what do we do with it from here on in? It's quite simple. You can actually, if I don't hit the wrong button, you can actually export the aIR. You can change sample rate, mono, 16. You can change stereo, mono, 16-bit. Not being a producer, I would just leave it as is. Export to. File opened up on my other screen. You guys can save that as it is. It just opens up your Windows or Mac file system for saving. And then you have this ready to go in your aIR folder. Exporting aIRs is a huge thing. I know the Zilla from Get Good does it. I know that the Libra from STL does it. This from Audio Assault, the aIR, is the cheapest method I have found that works reliably well. Not going to lie. Actually, let's prove that. I'm actually going to save this. I wasn't planning on it. So let's save it. We'll put it in my aIRs. I think I have like 3. Oh, no, I have 1. Perfect. So, rev, angle, stellar. So now if you just want to get rid and start over, ditch, and again, click back, my aIRs, there should be 2 now. Perfect. This rev angle is the one we just saved. I'm going to drag it in here. And the only thing I'm going to change is a full mix, and it should sound exactly like what we just had. Got a sour note in there for you. I had to miss one. Huge hail. Huge hail for the ability to export what is yours and bring it back at a moment's notice. aIR also has a number of modules. Now, the default module is the aIR module. That's what we've been doing. I don't know what a unit impulse is. I think it's a gain stager. You can apply EQ. Now what will happen is this will apply to the one above it. You can add gain if you choose to. So it's a what happens is it's a single band EQ that you can apply. I don't really mess with that too much. I just enjoy the aIR as it is. You can have, of course, you can have a high shelf, low shelf. Cab focus, I'm not 100% sure what it does. Let's find out together, shall we? So we're at 0. Nothing has changed. Now we'll put it to 100. Kind of just sounds like a gain. So I'm not really too worried about that. Phase delay. Again, I don't mess with these a hell of a lot. I'm going to give that a fail just for making me sound like shit. You have a volume pan, so if you want to adjust anything in your chain, you can. Low pass, high pass separate. I like the fact that it's on every single aIR that you put in. Impulse visualizer. This is something to me that I don't honestly know. So not 100% sure what it does. Again, if you're somebody smarter than me who understands the finer points of this, I feel like that's useful because what it looks like it does is that's the waveform of the actual impulse, which is really cool to me on a basic level, but somebody who actually understands them like an engineer, that's pretty amazing. So I'm going to give that a hail for the availability of that. And then a normalizer. This is if you're mixing the impulses and you want to normalize the sound. I don't mess with normalizers too much unless it's a speaking vocal track coming out of a lav. So I don't really touch that. And then, of course, your presets. I'm not sure where mine went, but I guess I made this a preset out of a different... Let's bump that. Whoa, okay. Apparently I've had this for a while. I've had it sitting on my to-do list for quite a while, so I wasn't 100% sure. Yeah. So let's see how this particular thing sounds. I don't hate that sound, I just don't remember why I made it. That's basically it. If you wanted to add a folder, obviously that's going to open on my other screen. You can add a folder to your, like if you have different aIR folders. Then of course this is the export function, and that's the home function, which takes you just to this screen. Go back to your aIRs, and that actually about does it. There isn't a hell of a lot to fail or specifically hail. I think this is an incredibly versatile and valuable, especially for the money, utility. Plugins are getting great at adding impulse response loaders, but there's no way that you can do what you can do with aIR in a plugin. So I like the fact that it's available. I think the cab mixing, I think the exporting is the biggest hail I have given, because it's just, like I said, it's the most cost-effective way to export your aIRs and to have those customs. So I really appreciate Audio Assault creating something like that and giving such a valuable feature at such a ridiculously low cost. So overall, do I recommend this? Absolutely. If you're thinking about getting the Pulse, which is free, absolutely, it's a great little unit. But spending the money, and again, it's not much money, spending the money to get aIR is worth every penny for the exporting and the customization of your aIRs alone. It's like less than $20, might even be less than $15. I'm not kidding. So I've talked for way too long. Pick up the aIR. Link is down below. Thanks to Audio Assault for continually making these, I don't want to say surprisingly good, but these really amazing value-priced plugins that do a hell of a lot. Thank you very much, Audio Assault. And thank you very much for joining me here today. I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. Thank you so much to EvilUnicorn if he decides to show up to say goodbye to you. And let me know your comments, of course, below. Please do hit that subscribe button. It helps out more than you could imagine. And as we always say to end off each and every single video and interaction with each other, be safe, be consensual, and if you can't be good, well then, sweet Satan on a pogo stick, be good at it. Bye-bye.